the connection triggers something. And I don't know how that works, but she made almost $500 from just doing the Super Bowl pool, but more than half of it came after the Super Bowl. So, and then before we get on to, I'm just going to put on some lip gloss. So last week I had tried the Rose Noir because I had more warmer colors on, and this time I have cool colors. And where is my little mirror? So I don't have to do this kind of backwards. Here it is. And then we're going to get, I'm telling you, what I'm going to teach tonight is simple, simple. So just so you could see, this is the lilac. And I love, it's the same formula of our other lip glosses. And someone's texting me. Uh, so this is lilac love. Is that what they call it? So I just want you to see it. You can make it go sheerer too by wiping off the tip. And it's glass lips. The glass lips are in. And then I just want to show you another little trick. I have a wide nose and and because the bronzer, right? Oops, let me go here. I just want to show you. It's subtle. This is for, I'm using my finger. You can use a brush. I just want to show you if you're able to see how doing not a real obvious contour, but just doing something like that will actually narrow. And that's why some people could put contour or use the bronzer as a contour under their jawline to do that. But now let's get to the real reason why I am on tonight and what did I do with my notes? So, um, who likes change? Raise your hand. You like change? You're unique, but that's good. That's good. Most people hate change, resist it, call in the exorcist, and this change is something. And I have always resisted change for everything. And I've been in Mary Kay now. Next month will be 32 years, and there have been a lot of changes in 32 years. There was a lot of changes, whether it was products or how they did things. And I resisted every one of them. So I understand if you're a person who doesn't like change, but the company knows what they're doing. And our times have changed so much, so quickly. So tonight, it's just about making you aware of a change. And with the recent changes from Mary Kay, we have now two profit tiers, the 30% and the 50%, right? And I want to make sure that no one misses the 50% by accident. The 30% is a great discount tier, but I don't want you to not be aware you're in 30% when you could have had 50%. So here's how it works. When your retail is the key word, retail. When your retail orders reach $450 in a calendar month, your wholesale is going to drop to $225. Now, the old way, what did we do? We kept an eye on our wholesale. We wanted to make sure our wholesale was 225, so we got our 50%. Now, we're going to keep our eye on the retail. And even if you don't understand it yet, all you have to know is keep your eye on the retail. And this is what I mean. Okay. So when you hit the $450 retail, you're going to be considered active, as many of you already know. You're going to receive the 50% profit that calendar month, plus the following 2 months. And so the month that you hit 450 retail counts as month one. And then the following 2 months, you're active and you get the 50% profit without needing a minimum. Okay, you don't even have to look at the minimum then. Now, after those 3 months, if you haven't reached 450 retail again, you become inactive and you move to the 30% level. Now, I'm going to have this in a written form, but I didn't feel like I was technical enough to, and last minute enough to get this on a whiteboard or something. But here's where people have unintentionally missed out. So keep in mind, there's nothing wrong with the 30% tier. Just, I don't want you to miss the 50% tier by accident. Okay. So here's an example. And if you're visual, you can write this down. Um, One person had $390 retail and her cost, her wholesale was 273. So 390, if you were to write that on paper to see it, and then draw an arrow, and she paid 273 wholesale. All right. Now, had that retail reached 450 retail, her cost would have actually dropped to 225.
Mm.
Okay. So Judy, even if you don't understand it, it's just that, like, write this down. 425, and you can use a calculator to get these too, but 425 minus 30% equals $297.50. So in other words, if your order is $425, your cost is going to be $297.50 because you got a 30% discount, not a 50% discount. But now, underneath that, you raise the retail to just $25. You raise the retail to $450, and you subtract 50%, and what do you have? $225. So in that case, in that pretend example I just gave you, that person would have saved $72, and yet she would have gotten $25 more product. Okay. So, yeah. So in the case, here's the simple rule. Here's the simple rule. If your wholesale is over $225, go stop and check what your retail is. Because if your retail hasn't reached 450, your cost might actually go down if you're that close. Okay. So make sure the retail is at least 450 for the 50%. Now you don't have to be going for the 50%. I want to make this so clear that this is not about making sure you get to the 50%. This is about making sure you don't miss the 50% by accident, unintentionally. Okay. So if your wholesale is more than $225 wholesale, stop and go check what your retail is. Because if your retail hasn't reached 450, that means by adding more product, your cost is going to go down. Okay? So just keep the simple rule in mind. If your wholesale is more than 225, make sure your retail is at least 450, because if you make it, depending on if you're close or not, I mean, sometimes there's people who've missed by $16 and their cost would have been another 20% lower and way more product. Okay. So also, we can order multiple orders in a month, right? So always check on your InTouch, and that might be a lesson for another day because I'm not prepared to share my screen. But look at your personal retail for the month. Because let's say somebody went on my shop and ordered products. Now, that's added to your retail production for the month and your wholesale, of course. And then let's say you placed an order yourself that came to your house, and that's now adding to your retail, and you're not aware that you have 400 in, and then you go place a $25 retail or wholesale, you might be close to that 450 and not know it if you place multiple orders. So what you you'll have to put in the chat, I mean, or if you're on Facebook in the comments, or you can let me know. If you do not know how to check your personal retail, your personal sales for the month, then you have to let me know, because it's super easy to check it. You just may not have explored around on your home page and stuff like that. So I'm not going to get into that, how to do that, because I didn't want to get that involved. I'll create a training on that or help those who need it. But bottom line is this. If you're ordering for the second time that month or the third time that month, check your retail to make sure you are not close to that 450, because that's going to put you in active status. You're going to get 50% on that and 50% for the next 2 months, no matter how big or little your order is. Okay. So, all right. So remember, 30% tier is not a negative. It allows inactive consultants to still earn profit. That's a gift. It's not a negative. This training is just simply about being aware and intentional when you are placing orders that you might be super duper close to the 50%, and it might actually cost you less money too. And we work too hard to leave our money on the table because we didn't look at one number before submitting it. So do your numbers there. And then I just want to 3 points, 3 points. One is, if your wholesale is over 225, just check your retail to make sure you're not under 450, because 450 will cost you less money. Okay. In that case. The other thing is, the simplest thing is to just keep your eye on your retail, so you know if you're super close or not. And then the third thing is, when you're ordering multiple orders in a month, check what your personal production is to see if you're not closer than you realize, because that will put you in active status for that month and next 2 months and 50%. So I hope this helped. And I don't want you to ever find out later that you were $12 short. It's preventable. So it's not about doing more. It's just about checking before you click submit. Okay, good. All right. That is the training. And I hope it serves lots of people. And I know we'll be back to a more normal schedule. I hope that nothing more crazy happens, but in March. So, this is the last day of the month, is Saturday already. And so next week, Sunday starts March 1st. So you'll be seeing the new calendar and everything. I know. But we're closer to spring, even though it doesn't look it outside. So you guys have a great night and a great week. And if you don't know how to check your personal production, let me know. Okay? Bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
You're welcome, always.